Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Nakwam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Bahashima Mashiach wa Malak Yahushai. Double honor to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all the Akwat out there, the sincere sisters that are out there zealous, diligent, and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Yvette McKellar, Yazian Debi Yehuda Israel, Dinah 144K, T Sellers, Divinely Fashioned, Brother Believe, Dinah Israel Tamid, Yaakov Israel, Kwam Yasha'Allah, P Branch, HBK Int, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, and again, everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Proverbs 30 and the 7 creatures of wisdom. We're going to dive right into it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Awashah. Let's go to the book of Job, right? When you go to the book of Job, the 12th chapter, Proverbs, the 30th chapter, latter precepts in the book of Job as well, you read about how the Most High speaks about different creatures and beasts that he hath created. Actually, I want Job 12. See, that's the spirit. And the Most High gives the behavioral characteristics, the mindset, right, the qualities of these different creatures. And Solomon, in his Proverbs that he wrote, he speaks to some of these beasts and creatures, and he speaks to the intent that the sons of God can learn from the works and the creation of the Most High and apply those qualities and characteristics to our lives. So it's very important to understand the importance, like the purpose rather. It's important to understand the purpose of why the Most High, Yahweh Bashmi Shai, put it on the spirit of King Solomon to write these things out, right? And the rest of our fathers as well, right? So I want to get this in Job, the 12th chapter, and then I'll dive into the book of Proverbs, the 30th chapter for brothers that may not be familiar with that, right? So this is Job chapter 12 and 7. But ask now the beast, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee, right? So natural observation is something that the Most High wants the children of Israel to be privy to. Not that you can actually go out there and ask a beast like the dog whisperer, the horse whisperer, Dr. Doolittle. No, asking the beast does not mean verbally communicating with an animal. But what the Most High is telling you is that the beasts are teaching you things. And you asking is not a verbal commitment, but it's more of a mental commitment to observe what these beasts are doing, what these creatures are doing. And once you ask them, they're going to teach you. They're not going to teach you verbally by word of mouth. They're going to show you based off of their nature, instinct, qualities, and or characteristics. So the Most High is commanding us to observe and to learn from the creation that he hath made, right? That's what Job chapter 12 is saying, or 12 and 7. It reads, but ask now the beast, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee. So there are different even proverbs, sayings, right? Quotes that deal with animals. The early bird catches the worm, hard-headed like an ox, you eat like a pig, right? These are just common sayings based off of the behavior of individuals. We're going to go into the book of Proverbs, and the Most High list a few of these creatures, and we're going to go into some videos, some qualities, and the spirit of these creatures that the Most High made. And it's up for us to ask so we can be taught, right? So let's go to Job chapter 12 and 8. Or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. So you learn, there's no excuse. I'll put it like this. There's no excuse, because you can learn from straight up the scriptures that you have, right? Genesis all the way through the book of Revelation, You can learn through what the Most High has created in the firmament, right? The Lord said in the book of Psalms, chapter 19, he speaks of the sun and the moon, and day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night uttereth knowledge, right? You can learn from the sun, you can learn from the moon. They instruct you signs and seasons, days and years. You can learn from man, right? A counselor, right? A man that can instruct you and guide you. You can also learn from the earth. You can learn from the elements. You can learn from these creatures that the Most High made. So man should always be in a spirit where he's observing the creation of the Most High and learning. Whether he sees something evil and he avoids it, or he sees something good and he takes that on and applies it to himself. Right? So the hand of the Most High works heavily within his creation. Right? So let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 30. We're going to read about these creatures. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 30 and verse number 24. Now remember, Solomon, he spoke of herbs, he spoke of roots, he spoke of beast. When you go to Wisdom of Solomon, let me get that first before I get that. Remember, Solomon had wisdom exceedingly great as the sand of the sea, right? And I want to get this because he details what knowledge he actually had. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements. So the entire creation, the molecules, matter, chemical bondings, gases, all of the things that the so-called white man would like to think that he knows, it's nothing comparable to what Solomon actually knew. Solomon had run 7 circles around these top Ivy League professors and these world-renowned scholars, man. These men like Neil deGrasse Tyson, these men that what's that guy that died? Stephen Hawking, Albert Einstein, right? They would be students at the feet of Solomon if Solomon was on the earth right now, man. He knew all of the operation of the elements, and there are even elements that this devil doesn't even know yet that Solomon he knew about. And if Solomon, well, I'll move on. Verse 18, the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons. So he knew the beginning of time and the time of Adam and his wife Eve. He knew the midst of times, the Middle Ages, what they call the Dark Ages. And he knew the end of times, the last days. He knew how the sun moved around the earth and revolved around the earth. He knew the changes of the seasons, right? The climates and ecosystems and migrational patterns of beasts. He knew all these things. The circuits of years and the positions of stars. He knew the constellations, the patterns of cycles, annual cycles for crops, annual cycles for beasts, for mating seasons, what that star meant, what this constellation means. The nature, here's the point in verse number 20. The natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds and the reasoning of men, the diversity of plants and the virtues of roots. So he knew the nature of living creatures. He would be what you call the modern day zoologist, right? I mean, he was a polymath, poly meaning many, math meaning truth. It goes back to the Hebrew word amath, which means truth. He was a man of many truths. He knew multiple things on a very high level. So he knew the nature of living creatures, what their nature was, how their mind operated, and what he can learn from that. And you can only observe the nature of living creatures if you outside, man. You know, if you in the elements, if you meditate, if you go on walks, going on walks is good for your mind. People call them nature walks. It clears your mind, reduces your stress, your blood pressure. You can't be on your phone all day, every second, man. As Esau programs the algorithm to keep you hypnotized. You can't go and sit at a cubicle all day and then you go home and you're in front of the TV all day, then a video game, and expect to grow in this thing. So Solomon knew through natural observation the nature of living creatures, and the fury of wild beasts, what predators are, the food chain, why animals destroy one another, the violence of winds. He knew about hurricanes, air pressures, barometers, the category 5 hurricane. He knew about these things, man. And the reasoning of men. He knew why men were simple. He knew about psychology, right? The psyche, the mind, the study of the mind, right? That's what it means. He knew how minds operated, the diversity of plants and the virtues of roots. So when you go to Proverbs, the 30th chapter, he speaks about the nature of living creatures, right? And the Lord said it in Job that you have to speak to the earth and it shall teach thee. Now, here's some of the nature of living creatures in Proverbs chapter 30 and 24. There be 4 things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. Now, why does this matter? Why does this matter? Because we as a people, we're in a condition where we are to pray. We're little upon the earth. We have no standing military. We have no king. We have no government. We have no castles and fortresses for our defense. We have no economy. We have no captains and rulers. We have nothing. We're little upon the earth. But you also have other things that you can relate to that are also little upon the earth. But simply because they lack certain resources or certain physical strengths, it doesn't mean that they aren't wise. You can be little upon the earth and still be wise, right? So this shows you what the Most High is showing you is how to move in the last days, how to move in this captivity, right? How not to be simple, even though you may not have it all. You may not have the things that the other nations have. You may not have a military. It's like you may not have a government. You may not have a king, but wisdom is still there for you. Remember, the Most High said, and let me get a precept about this, about being little upon the earth and exceeding wise. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 1. The Lord said, not many mighty, not many noble are called, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. So the Lord, he's not calling the mightiest, strongest individuals to speak on his behalf, to prophesy. He's not calling celebrities. He's not calling A-list actors. He's not calling movie stars. He's not calling MVPs of professional sports, right? Top news anchors, and he's calling the lowly, those that are little upon the earth, insignificant. In the book of Psalms, we're called the hidden ones, right? The Lord is not dealing with the top rich men and men that have famous names in the world. That's not the calling in the last days. Verse 27. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Right? So the foolish things of the world would be, in the eyes of man, this truth. They think this truth is foolish. They look at the Bible, they say it's a man-made book. They look at us and we don't have a college degree. We didn't go to the theologian schools. We didn't go to the seminary schools. We don't have the worldly accolades that the same top professors and doctors and lawyers have. So we represent the foolish things of this world. Insignificant individuals, people who allegedly aren't even set to live past the age of 25. Supposed to be dead or in jail, killed, supposed to have anger problems, father issues, be a murderer, a gangbanger. Now, the Most High chose you, and the world looks at you like a fool. But you're set up to confound the wise. Who are the wise? The wise are these top pastors, these theologians, these scientists, these professors, men of the world. And the Lord chose weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And one thing about the Most High is the Most High loves showing his power. Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, loves to showcase his power and his glory. So what the Most High does is he takes things and individuals that are insignificant and lowly and builds them up and raises them up that men can marvel at the Most High and say, and you only can give credit to the Most High for him to raise up an individual that's so lowly and so base. He did that with Moses. He did that with David. He did that with Jacob, right? The Lord has risen us up. Verse 28, and base things of the world and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. So we represent the base things of the world, low life, scums, hate group. They call us all these names: domestic terrorists, black Hebrew Israelites, man, the scum of the earth, scumbags. You know, they walk past camp and they say, "Are you going to dance for us?" We've heard that before. What are you guys going to sing? Is this one of those Muslim things? What's that towel on the top of your head? What's that carpet on the bottom of your shirt? Well, show me your degree. Do y'all have jobs? How much money y'all make? All that the Most High chose us, man. So we represent the little things. I can tell you in Proverbs 30. But those little things in Proverbs 30, they also have exceedingly great wisdom. They have exceedingly great wisdom. Let me go to James chapter 2 and 5. Right? James chapter 2 and 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him? So the Lord chose the poor of this world, right? Poor of this world, meaning we in the ghetto, slums, hoods, projects, no money, no banks, no income, little income rather, working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, sweating and slaving, but we're rich in faith. You might come into this knowledge, or you might be an individual who doesn't have a lot, but you have to remember there are other creatures that the Most High made who also don't have a lot, but they are exceeding wise. Now let's see what makes these creatures exceeding wise, that are little, but they're wise. Verse 25, the ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. So ants are little upon the earth. You can smash an ant, man. You can take a magnifying glass if you're wicked and burn up an ant. You can kick his ant hill down. So there are people not strong, but they're wise. And it's up for the men of the Most High to understand the spirit of these creatures and apply it to themselves. They're not strong, but they prepare their meat in the summer. What does that mean? They prepare their meat in the summer. They're always working. They're always working. They're always laboring. They're always diligent. They always have their hand to the plow. They're foraging. They're at the park. They're in the house. They don't care who you are. They're in the field, and they're gathering food and storing it up. They're storing up food to prepare. Their preparation skills exceed just about any other creature. And Jake, you don't prepare for anything, man. You get off on procrastinating. Well, I perform best last minute. That's what Jake said. You glory in procrastination. You shouldn't glory in that. In the last days, the Most High is about to bring the missiles, and Jake isn't preparing. You're not getting your spirit right. You're not repenting. You're focused on the wrong thing. You're not working on your own salvation and examining yourself and killing off the old man and mortifying the members. You're worried about vainglory, getting the name. You're worried about income and money that you're going to, that you expect to get 15 years from now, or whatever other things are going to be destroyed. So the ants do something that man don't do, and that's prepare. Right? Let me go to Proverbs chapter 6. Right? I got a video I want to pull up about these ants. This Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, Consider her ways and be wise. So you can be wise by observing an ant. And like I always say, or you understand, you've never seen an ant just posted up doing his own thing. Ants aren't selfish. They don't do their own thing. They work in a highly structured, comprehensive, complex military ranking file organization. They got a camp. If you're an ant, you're in a camp. Each colony is a camp. You see that? So the Lord calls us to be like the ant, which means first you got to gather together. Ants are not individualites. Ants don't work solo. Ants gather together rather. Let me get that. Let's go to Genesis real quick. Chapter 49. Right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that it may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. So ants, they're born in that colony, but it's up to the servant of the Lord to take on that spirit of the ant to gather together. Right? They have the same mission, the same focus. They don't break rank. They work very well together. They kill together. They eat together. They sleep together. They work together. Right? That's what the ants do. And you got brothers that are sluggards. What is a sluggard? Somebody that's lazy, slothful, refuses to work. The ant is working at night. You can go outside. I guarantee sometime, somewhere, ants are working right now. And if they're not working, they're thinking about working. They're formulating plans and strategies and complex formations. They make bridges, to get from one side to another. I seen a bunch of ants attack a praying mantis. Not because one ant was strong, but they were strong together. Right? Let's read on. Which have you no, Proverbs 6 and 7. Which have you no guide or seer or ruler, provided her meat in the summer. What does this mean? They have no guide, overseer, or ruler. This means that ants are going to work whether somebody's watching them or not. They have something also called accountability and integrity. They don't need, some brothers, you have to have an overseer. You have to watch over them. Hey, did you do your videos? Okay, did you go to camp this week? Hey, did you do this? Hey, look, we got to get here. Hey, the feast day's coming up. Can you bring this up? The ants just do it. They don't need a guide, an overseer, or a ruler. They have integrity. They're honorable, and they get the job done. They don't need somebody over their back. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. So the Most High is telling you, be like the ant. Prepare, be circumspect, and gather together, man. Let's go to Matthew chapter 20. Right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 20. This is Matthew chapter 20 and verse number 1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. So this truth is about work. It's about work. You can say, well, I thought it was about faith. I thought it was about Jesus. I thought it was about fringes. I thought it was about debate. Or I thought it was about whose beard is the longest or who had the most views. No, this truth is about your faith and your works. Straight up and down. So the Most High is an entire parable based off of men that he calls into this truth to do his work, to go out and wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Matthew 20 and 2. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. So the penny a day represents the kingdom, right? Verse 3. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. So If you're not an ant, it's like you're going to be idle. And we were all idle in the marketplace. The marketplace represents this world of trading, commerce, buying, selling, freaking off, idolatry, wickedness, the agora. That's what it represents. A public place of revelry, commerce, buying, selling. You had street performers, you had temples out there, you had meat sold, you had all types of stuff going on. The Lord is not dealing with the idle servant, right? He's not dealing with the idle servant. Let's go to this word idle in the Greek, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shmi Shai. Right? So they got Argos. Argos, and it reads, free from labor at leisure. Now, there's nothing wrong with leisure at times, because the Most High did say in Sirach 38 and 24, wisdom cometh by opportunity of leisure. So you're going to need that time. You don't want to burn out, you know, and everything needs rest. The land, your body, you know, creatures, even ants go to sleep. Little, you know, but they still do it. But you don't want to have too much leisure. You don't want to have too much downtime. When you didn't binge watch eight episodes of God knows what, and you haven't thought about the Most High. You only prayed one time that day. You have too much leisure, too much time on your hands. Lazy, shunning the labor which one ought to perform, and you ought to perform this work, man. Rather you go out the camp, shake the hand, do a video, give arms, hand out flyers, make signs, read, hold pose, hold the umbrella, get a camera, go out there, fish, call people in, you know, social media, make a post, precept on the comment board, anything. That's labor which one ought to perform. Inactive. Some brothers ain't active. You got to be active in this vineyard, man. There's so much going on. Everybody should be active, moving, doing something, working on something. And if you're not working on something, you formulating and meditating on what you're going to work on to build up the nation of Israel. If you're in a camp and you watching this, you should be active. Don't be the brother that just shows up on the feast day, eats all of the food, drinks all of the wine and strong drink, and goes back home and just freaks off. Don't be inactive, unemployed, useless, barren, idle, slow. You see that, man? Right? Don't be useless. Right? Be like the ant. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 33. So some ants have more wisdom than brothers who know the truth, man. Right? This Ecclesiasticus chapter 33 and verse number 27. Send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. And that's so true, man. When you don't have nothing to do, you find anything to do. Right? And you'll be thinking about wicked thoughts. You start hitting up old friends. Well, I wonder what this person's doing. You have that's none of your concern. Well, I wonder what she's doing right now. Brother, you don't need to be worried about what she's doing. Idleness, they tell you that what they say, an idle mind, that's the saying, famous proverb, an idle mind is the devil's playground. They tell you that even in the world. I heard that growing up. So if your mind isn't constantly working on something, Satan can come in and he'll make you work on something. Either you're going to be doing the work of the Most High in your mind, or Satan's going to hop in your mind and make you do things that are detrimental to your life or your household's life, man. I saw this one movie, it's years ago, man. Them old, it was like on Tubi, man. And this woman, what's this one? What it was? Yeah, this woman, she was idle, man. I think she was sitting at home and her husband, he was working and she was like a stay-at-home wife. And she was sitting at home and she ended up getting on social media and she was looking up all her old friends on Facebook and trying to see what they was doing, man. Instead of working and laboring and putting her hand to the plow, she was idle. She ended up scrolling and looking and found some old friend, some old whore. She ended up being this old whore. Oh, what are you doing? And then guess what? Satan hit her right back immediately. Oh, I haven't heard from you in a long time. I've been waiting for you to hit me up. That's how Satan works. So she ended up hitting up this whore. This whore started getting her involved. I'm not going to say the rest of the movie, right? Or the name of the movie, right? But Satan, because I can't remember, but Satan started working on that woman, man. She ended up getting her marriage destroyed, freaking off. And at the end of the movie, she got shot by her husband, man. So that idle mind can get you involved with the wrong people. You got to always be thinking, where can I improve? What more can I do? Have the ant mind, right? Have the ant mindset. Idleness teacheth much evil. Let's go to Proverbs. First Corinthians chapter 3. Then I want to play this. So right now we're going over the ant. First Corinthians chapter 3 and 9. For we are laborers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are the Most High's building. So one thing also the ants do is they labor together. We are laborers together, right? They work of the same mind and of the same accord for the sake of them, not of themselves, because ants are extremely selfless. They don't have their own career path. An ant isn't sitting around wondering what it would be like to be the top ant. Their mind don't even go that far. You think one ant is envious of the other ant? They don't have those spirits. They don't have a spirit of envy. Ants don't have a spirit of pride. Ant is like, well, that ant is up front. I need to hurry and get up front. Ants don't look to make a name for themselves. The Most High created them just to labor. All they do is just work. They don't do nothing else. They just work, work, work. But they work together. They don't work by themselves. They work together for the sake of the colony. They'll kill together for the sake of the colony. They eat, sleep, breathe, and live the colony. All in their mind, the colony, the colony. What can I do more for the colony? Let me get that berry. Let's break in that damn house. Hey, man, they might see a big hand with a fly swatter coming down. They'll dodge it, man, roll over, take the raisin, throw it to their homeboy. The other ant pick it up, say, let's go, we out. And they'll take it back to the colony, man. They'll put their life on the line. And they'll report back to the colony. We almost died, but here's what we brought for the colony. And guess what? They get right back to work. No, I'm not saying break in the house. Obviously, we're not saying break in the house. Nobody's saying break in the house, but I'm showing you an extreme example of when ants break into your house. They don't care about you being in the house, right? They do what they got to do. So I got this pulled up. So these are strong traits of ants. Right now, this says strong traits of ants include their super strength, lifting up to 5,000 times their body weight due to their efficient muscles and strong exoskeleton, and their social structure, which enables complex problem solving, efficient work, and strong communication, man. So they have a very detailed, complex social structure. So they have classes of people. They have soldiers. Now I'm led to believe they have officers. They have captains. They have generals. Right? And they can solve complex problems. Watch ants. They can cross a pond, like a small pond. They can make a bridge. I've seen it. It's on YouTube. You can look it up on your own. They look at the obstacle. They say, well, what can we do? We can't cross this pond. You know what? Everybody, make your body a living sacrifice, and they'll all post up and they'll make a bridge. And one ant will go over, then the other ant will go over, then the other ant go over. Things that man wouldn't even think about. The ant they can resolve in less than 2 seconds when they have councils. They have councils and they come together. What can we do to solve this problem? And they speak. One say this, one say that, one speak on this matter, one say on that matter, and they get the job done. I saw a video of a praying mantis, and them praying mantis, man, they can be formidable. They got them sharp claws. They eat any damn thing. Them ants, they killed the bee, and they took a praying mantis down, and they did it together. They did it together. Where is that? Did I get that video? Let me actually pull that up. Ants make bridge. Not bread. I don't know about that one. Right, Salakia. Ants make a bridge. Look at this. And they invaded a wasp nest. They invaded. They're not messing around, man. Look at this. That's complex. That's complex. I don't know what these wasps did. I don't know if they in the wrong side of town. They ain't say good morning. They took some of their food. You seen the movie Ants, man? Was that A Bug's Life? You seen both of them. If you ain't see it, you'll see it. So they made a whole bridge. And that's a complex bridge because it's a lot of weight right there at that bottom part. If that snap, those guys got to hold it down. Whoever these ants are down here, they need to hold it down. And they invaded. Look at this. And they invaded the wasp nest. That's mighty right there, man. And they did it together. And them wasps, they didn't know what was coming. Brothers could do the demons, man. The demon come up. Brothers come together, destroy that demon, man. Go on a fast together. Pray together. Get counsel together. Look at this. There has to be millions of ants. Army ants. Look at them moving. I don't hear. I'm not an ant, but I don't hear nobody complaining. I don't hear nobody groaning. When is this going to be over with? How long am I going to be here? How come I got to be in this position? How come I can't invade the wasp nest? How come they get to invade the wasp nest? They don't care. All their mind, the colony, the colony, the colony. It's not about me. It's about the colony. It's never about me. It's never been about me. I can't make this bigger than me. It's about us as a collective. All we have is each other. Ants have brotherhood. They tight. And they don't beef. Ants don't gangbang. Ants don't want the preeminence. They're exceeding wise. Look at this. Yeah, hold it down. And I could be wrong. Like I said, you can say, well, how do you know you're not an ant? I'm led to believe they're exhorting and encouraging each other to hold it down. Now, I can't prove that. I don't have ant earphones, and I don't speak ant, but I'm led to believe, based off of their spirit, that they are both encouraging and exhorting and confirming one another to keep the bridge intact. Call me a liar if you want, but that's my opinion. Yeah, robbing them. They taking something out that wasp nest. I don't know what they got in their hand, but that looked like larvae. Look at that. This is a war. This is war. This is a war scene. This is called a siege, a military siege. And those are wasp larvae, baby wasp. So they technically dashing the babies against the stones because those are the babies. Now, and those ants are not getting emotional. Well, that's the larvae. We just want the top dog wasp. We're going to let them live. They don't get emotional. If you in a way, you're getting cut down. If you a baby wasp, larvae wasp, egg wasp, we taking you. They're taking them captive. Whose captives they were, man. You know? They're taking these babies captive. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with them. Eat them, beat them up, man. See that? So you get the point, man. So that's ants with a land bridge. Let me get the ants fighting the praying mantis. Right? I'm not watching 4 minutes. Right? Let me see if I can fast forward a little bit. I mean, but you see the so you see the title, Praying Mantis Decapitated by Ant Swarm. Decapitated by an ant swarm. That's why I read in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, for we are laborers together with God, ye are God's husbandry, ye are the Most High's building, man. Right? Let me get another quick precept before I play that video. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and 9. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor, right? Your work gets done faster, it's more efficient. What you may not know, the other man knows. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. And if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. You see that? So if a demon or your enemy prevail against you, you got your brother there to fight alongside. The Lord said a brother is born for adversity, right? So the Lord also said a threefold cord is not quickly broken. This Proverbs chapter 17 and 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. And we're all born again. Every man of the Most High, you're born again to help your brother when he falls, right? So let's play this clip. Okay, I'm gonna hold that one. Where is it at? Okay, check this out. Look at this. Hold on, let me play the audio for this, man. Right? We got to get into these beasts. I got to move on to the next beast, but I got to play this before I move on to the next beast or creature. Right? So check this out. They say ants, man, they're ruthless.
In defense of the trail, the ants take no prisoners, but even an innocuous-looking insect can be surprisingly dangerous.
Yeah.
The soil millipede is killed quickly, but the soldier's highly sensitive antennae immediately reveal that it's poisonous.
Look, and they talk. Ants talk, man. You got brothers that don't speak. They don't say nothing to one another. Ants always talk. They're always talking about the colony. And if you in a camp and brothers don't talk about the work of the Most High and doing things for the nation or for the congregation, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's a big problem. Because ants, they always talking. They always with colony. Look, he's poisonous. Okay, what we got to do now? And they don't procrastinate. They get it done.
The message soon reaches nearby ants. They know exactly what to do. They gather lumps of mud and bury the problem.
So they found out he was poisonous, and they told each other, "Look, he could kill us, man. if we keep him here. So they said, let's bury him. So they about to bury this. Let's get him up out of here, man. Let's get him up out the way. You didn't have one ant. Well, why do we have to do that? Okay, well, I got an idea. No, they said that's the order, and they're getting it done. Yeah. So I want to get to the point where they took down this praying mantis. Then I want to move on. Where is this praying mantis? They said they decapitated him. Here we go, right here. Check this out.
Mantis plucks unsuspecting ants from the column.
Look, he ate one of their homeboys, man. Look.
But more dangers await the trailblazers. A praying mantis plucks unsuspecting ants from the column.
The praying mantis killing the soldiers. He killing the soldiers. So let's see how the ants respond. Let's see how, now this remind me of Abraham and Lot. Remember those men, they took Lot captive. And Abraham, or at that time Abram, he took 318 of his trained servants, born in his own house. And he went for the get back.
He seems to have the upper hand, but the ants he kills send out a dying message.
The ant he was killing, he was getting killed. Save me, help me, avenge me. And that remind me of Revelation, the 6th chapter, man. Oh Lord, how long, holy and true, dost thou not avenge our blood of them on the earth, paraphrasing. So he's dying, he's praying for vengeance. As he's on his deathbed, avenge me, save me.
Reacting to this pheromone, reinforcements arrive.
Now his brothers come. Check this out.
The mantis is a deadly predator, but the ants know exactly what they're dealing with. One soldier grabs the mantis's jaws, stopping it from doing any more damage. Other ants swarm over the mantis, butchering it with surgical precision.
Stopping it, stabbing it. Look at that. That's teamwork, man. That's vengeance. That's brotherly love. They got his ant up out of here. The ant crying, save me, avenge me. I'm out of here. Word got out, man. Word got out, and they on him. They on him fast. One grabbed his jaw, the other one stabbing him in the back, the other one breaking his leg.
The mantis's fate is sealed by a clinical decapitation.
Hold on.
The mantis's fate is sealed by a clinical decapitation.
Chop this damn head off, man. Like David did Goliath. Like Judas did Nicanor. Like Judah did Holofernes. Chopping the head off. And that's what Israel do, though, man. Chopped his head off. Now let's see what they did after they chopped his head off.
The eggs and pupae are taken into the new nest.
Then they take all of the eggs and the babies captive. So the ants get down. You get the point, man. The ants get down. Right? Let's go back to Proverbs chapter 30. Right? Let's go back to Proverbs chapter 30. So be like the ant, man. Right? Be like the ant. They are exceeding wise. Right? They're exceeding wise. And let me get this in Malachi, the 3rd chapter, real quick. And you see that communication, man, could be life or death. That's why, when you're dealing with something like that first ant, man, he confessed it. Some brothers just die by themselves, man. Like you just fall out the truth. You're just being killed by demons. You don't cry out. You don't say nothing. You don't let nobody know you're dealing with depression. You're dealing with lust. You're just being sifted out. You don't say nothing. Say something, man, so your brothers could be there for you. This Malachi chapter 3 and 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another. See that? And the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. So if you fear the Most High, you're going to speak often one to your brothers, right? About the successes and the blessings that the Most High gave you in your enterprises, right? And what you're personally dealing with that could potentially be separating you from the Most High, right? You have to speak often one to another. Consider the ant and be wise. Let's go back to Proverbs chapter 30, right? This Proverbs chapter 30 and verse number 26. It reads, the conies are a feeble folk, yet make they their houses in the rocks. So they're feeble. When you look up the coney, it's like a rock badger. I had a picture pulled up. Here's the rock badger. The Lord said they are feeble folk, but they do what? Let's go back to it. Yet make they their houses in the rocks, because the rock is their defense. They don't trust in their own strength. They have enough wisdom to not trust in their own strength. They trust in their own might. They trust in the rock. Now, if you got a spiritual mind, you should be able to put two and two together. They trust in the rock, in the fortress, right? And in the movable power. That's what they trust in. They know that they need protection. And some brothers should be thinking of a few precepts, man. Right? Let's go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. We're gonna go into these conies because there's a lot about these conies too, man. They're exceeding wise. This is Joel chapter 2. This is what I want, and I want verse number. Let's see. Bear with me. It's not what I want, right? But let's go to Psalms 91. I'll get that first. This Psalms chapter 91 and verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So learning from the conies, it charges men of the Most High to put your protection in the rock. Our rock is Yahweh Ba'ashmi Yahushua. He's our defense. He's our shield, our buckler, and fortress. We don't have a standing army, man. We don't have swords and nuclear missiles to save us. The Most High is going to save us. So the same way the coney can perceive that he can't do it by himself, he needs a defense. Because he's out there being attacked by eagles, man, falcons, wild beasts. But he's invincible as long as he puts his trust in the rock. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 8th chapter. As long as he puts his trust in the rock, he'll be invincible. This Isaiah chapter 8 and verse number 13. Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. Fear the Most High. Don't fear man. We don't give a damn what man's devices are and what their plans are and counsels. We fear the Most High. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So Yahweh Shaka is that rock, right? But he's that sanctuary, right? He's where we go when we're being attacked. right? He's where we go when we need that defense. That's why we pray. That's why it's so important to keep your prayers up. It's important to pray that the Most High increases your faith. I always go to this through the Spirit. Well, I go to it often, rather, about how the apostle said this in Luke 17:5. Luke 17:5, and the apostle said unto the Lord, Yahweh, increase our faith. Right? Remember, the apostles, they saw the miracles. They witnessed things that we've never witnessed. And yet, in their humility and their wisdom, they even asked for their faith to be increased. You would think, seeing all of the miracles, that your faith would be at the highest pinnacle, the highest level. There's always room for improvement to increase your trust in the Most High. A lot of brothers, man, you get emotional, you make hasty decisions, you put your trust in man and money, a doctor, a lawyer, your own flesh, your own might, but you don't rely on the Most High. And that's why you have so many failures and so many things that should have been done the right way and could have worked out for you, but they backfired on you because you didn't trust the Most High. You're not like the Coney. You're like some vulture, eagle, proud spirit. Be like the Coney next time when you're being attacked by these demons, by these spirits, by man. You put your trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. He's our rock. He's our fortress. He is our defense. Let's go to Psalm 71. Be like the Coney, man. Be like the ant. They're exceeding wise. Psalm chapter 71 and verse 1. In thee, O Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. And it's a horrible feeling when you're at your wit's end, man. You're put to confusion. You don't know, do you have no help? You're stressed out, anxiety, panicking. What do? I can't pay this off. I don't have enough money for this. How am I going to make this happen? Put your trust in the Most High. Be like the Coney. Stop being like your old man, your uncle, your cousin, some nigger on TV. Be like the Coney. Be like the ant. We covered the ant. The ants get down, man. Some of that stuff I read that I didn't even know. Them ants get down. Hey, this Coney get down too, man. We're going to go into this Coney. Pray that the Most High increases your trust in him and not your trust in man. Psalm 71 and 2. Deliver me in thy righteousness and cause me to escape. Incline thine ear unto me and save me. So David knew and trusted and believed in the Most High, that he would be able to escape from every problem he had with Saul, every problem he had with the Philistines, the Ammonites, the Edomites, the Canaanites, all these nations, his own ordeals, his own sins, his conscience weighing him down. He knew that there was nobody he can resort to but the rock, but Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Here's the point of verse 3. Then I'm going to go into the information. Psalm 71 and 3. Be thou my strong habitation, whereunto I may continually resort. Thou hast given commandment to save me, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Deliver me, O my God, out of the hand of the wicked, out of the hand of the unrighteous and cruel man. Who's the wicked? Esau. Who's the unrighteous man? Who's the cruel man? Esau, the Edomites. It doesn't say Esau. I'm sick of brother. Well, I don't see the word Edomite on there. It doesn't say that. In the spirit of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, is talking about the Edomites. So when we're being persecuted, and persecution is about to increase, it's only going to escalate, man. It's only going to ramp up. This thing is about to go down. You see the laws being passed, or so you should. You see the chess pieces being moved, or so you should. You should be watching. But regardless of what these devils have planned, what these spirits are doing. Verse 3 is the answer. Be thou my strong habitation, whereunto I may continually resort. Not sometimes. Don't resort to the Most High when you just need something. You resort to the Most High at all times. So going back to this strong habitation, Proverbs chapter 30 and 26. The conies are a feeble folk, yet they make their houses in the rocks. And we're a feeble folk, man. We're lowly. We're the sheep. We're a peaceable people. In 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, the Lord calls us a peaceable multitude. Jake really is low key, man. Jake we don't want no trouble, man. We do our thing. We like to relax. We're a laid back people. We're a feeble folk, even in this society, man. We don't have protection. Straight up. We don't have anybody to protect us. None of these nations love you. None of these heathen protect you. Hey, like I tell you, I poured it last week. I tell you in Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah 15:5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? Yeah, who's going to check in on you? They know you're vulnerable, right? They know you have no hope, right? They say, where's your God at? That's what these heathens say. Where's their God at? Your God can't save you. Let me get that in Micah, the 7th chapter. Right? So these nations don't love you. They don't ask how you do. This is Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? That's what they're saying. When they shoot you in the streets, ain't no God saving you. When they lynch you, when your daughter goes missing, your son goes missing, and his organs missing with him. When you get fired, you get choked out, you get taken on a rough ride, you get killed in the prison cell, you get caught hanging from a tree, and they say you committed suicide. They say, where's your God at? He can't save you from this rope as he lynches you up in the woods of Alabama. Where is the Lord thy God? We are a feeble folk, so much so that these nations question if we even have a power. Mine eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And that's going to happen, man. Right? It's going to happen. So let's go into the coney. So the coney makes their habitation in the rock because they're always being attacked. Right? They're always being attacked by serpents and wild beasts and hawks and eagles. So I looked it up. Why do rock badgers, that's another name for them, they're also called rock badgers. Why do rock badgers live in rocks, right? Like I say, it's AI overview. You can find this everywhere. This is common knowledge. They live in rocks because of the crevices and outcrops provide essential protection from predators and shelter from harsh weather. Now you should be thinking about some precepts about Esau being the violent man. He's the lion. He's the predator. And the harsh weather is the sun and the affliction that smites us. So that's where you get your shade from and your protection from these violent creatures that hunt us. Because we are being hunted, man. We are being hunted. Let me get that in Psalms 17. This is Psalms chapter 17 and verse number 9. It reads, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. So we deal with deadly enemies, man. These people want to poison your water, murder your children, kill your baby in the hospital. Remember that nurse that was breaking their bones in the hospital, man? switching babies. You go to the doctor for a damn. That's why you stop trusting in these doctors, man. Trusting the Most High. Don't be like I believe that's Ahaz. Go to the doctor for a damn migraine. You leave with your damn hand cut off. Hey, this is hell. We have deadly enemies, man. You know, people at your job, you know what they're thinking about sometimes? How they could kill you. What it would be like to see your blood. This is what they're thinking about sometimes. They hate you. They actually hate you, man. We have deadly enemies. Verse 10. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth, they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps. They surrounding us. They have set their eyes bowing to the earth as if they're the Most High. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. So we have to be like the Coney, man, because we're surrounded. We don't have any hope. Everywhere you go, you could die. You could lose your life. You could lose your life at your job, man. You got Edomites going to these jobs, shooting up the jobs. They got training for mass shooters. That's a new thing. I mean, they've been doing it for a while, but I mean, damn, man. You got to watch the video about how to attack an Edomite if he comes in and he shoots up the place. Them Edomites come in with a book bag and some dark shades, take out a shotgun and start blowing damn Susan and Billy away, man. So you can get killed at your job. You get pulled over, shot as you're reaching the glove compartment box to get your registration out, man. Somebody could break in your house, man. So we need the Most High. I had a precept. Most High willing, it comes back to me, right? But that's the point, man. So they use this to survive from predators. Going back to this article or this link, this is a key survival strategy because they are slow moving and lack strong physical defenses. Their habitation or their habitat also helps them with thermal regulation as they bask on rocks to warm up and use the shade to cool down, right? Let me go to Psalms 121 about the shade. You got to use the shade to cool down, right? And use the rock to catch on fire. So the Most High could catch you on fire and light that fire in you, or the Most High can cool you and protect you from the shade. So the rock, they trust the rock to catch fire to heat up. That's where they go into that rock for thermal regulation, right? When they're being afflicted by the sun, they can cool down. When they need warmth, they can trust in the rock. If you got ears to hear, then you understand, man. Psalms chapter 121 and verse number 5. Yahweh Bashmi Abashah is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. So he's that rock. He's that shade to protect us from affliction, persecution, evil spirits, and demons. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. So here's what the sun and the moon represent in the next verse. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. So metaphorically, being smitten by the sun and the moon represents the evil, all evil that comes. So when you go in a rock like the Coney, you're preserved from evil. And you use it to catch fire, man. You know, in the book of Luke, let's get this real quick. All right, I want Luke Salakia. This is Luke chapter 24, and I want verse 32 about fire, catching fire. So this after the resurrection, and Yahweh Shah conversed with these two men, and he actually opened up the word of the Most High and showed them, right? And showed them the scriptures. Now, here's what they said afterwards. about getting that heat from the rock. Luke 24:32. And they said one to another, did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way and while he opened to us the scriptures? So while you're with the rock and these scriptures are open, your heart should be burning. You should be catching fire. Shouldn't be falling asleep. Shouldn't be on your phone and reading at the same time. Shouldn't be watching the video and you're trying to get into the lesson. No, your heart got to be burning when you at the rock. Same way that the rock Yahushua was with these two apostles, these two men, and their heart was burning. They was catching fire because they were in the spirit when they were with Yahushua. They were inflamed with zeal and passion of the spirit when they were with Yahushua, the rock. Right? So it's for thermal regulation. Now, one thing about conies too is conies, like ants, they also live in colonies. They also are not individualites. They are not individualites. They live in colonies and they need one another and they protect one another. Okay. Ants are also, they use that, Slakia. Conies, they use the rocks for camouflage and for social safety. They live in colonies, and the rocky terrain allows them to maintain a social structure where they can watch out for each other. What is that? What precept is that, man? Being your brother's keeper. Cain said, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, we are a brother's keeper. We conies watch out for one another, man. They don't just sit around a rock and kill one another. They watch out. Conies are very circumspect, man. When they see danger coming, they let everybody know. It tells you that. They will also scurry into the rocks when a sentry gives an alarm. What is a sentry? We're going to pull this up. I'm going to show you what these conies have. Right? Let's see if I can get this. Look at this. A sentry is a watchman. A soldier stationed to keep guard or to control access to a place. So they have rocks, but they have watchmen. Conies are watchmen. They have organized sentries in their army. Watchmen. They have men that patrol. You think these animals are just sitting around, man, just doing whatever? No. They're exceeding wise. They have more wisdom than man. We covered the ant, man, but we go these conies, they get down. They post it up like this, man. Don't downplay them because they small. They walking around in the middle of the night. You heard that? Sound the alarm. Blow the trumpet, man. That one coney, he scream out. Here come the viper. Here come the eagle. The other watchmen, they come out. What's going on, man? What the hell is going on outside? They checking it out. The top guy come out, man. Say, what the hell is this? And the watchman say, I saw something. So they have actual rank and structure. Right? What does being a sentry mean? A sentry is someone who stands guard or watches against some intrusion or unwelcome activity. So brothers got to be their own brother's watchman, man. Let me get that in Genesis 4. Right? Genesis chapter 4 and 9. So both ants and conies have complex military organizations with rank and structure. And one thing about conies have watchmen. They have patrol teams. Genesis chapter 4 and 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? What a sarcastic, demonic statement. I don't know where that Negro's at, man. Am I supposed to watch that, man? To hell with him. That's what Cain said. Now here's that word keeper. Shamar. Right? Shamar, and it means to keep guard, to observe, give heed, to watch, to be a watchman, to save life, to protect. So we're commanded. One of the first laws that Abel and Cain was taught was that they have to watch over each other, protect one another, love one another. You're supposed to be your brother's coney, man. Be like the coney, right? And these conies, man, they're very mighty when you dive into them. They're very mighty. Now, here's the colony structure. So check this out. Rock badgers and conies, their colonies are structured around a territorial male, multiple females, so they have multiple wives. Yes, rock badgers are polygynous. I don't like that. The Most High, hey, look, the rock badger, man, these top men, man, they have multiple women that they deal with. And those women are in order. And they got watchmen outside. And they have soldiers keeping guard. And they got their women inside. So they have multiple females and they're young, forming polygynous family units. Within this structure, females are philopatric and remain in the colony. So philopatric meaning they kind of stay at home, right? They're keepers at home. That's what it means. They're keepers at home, right? So even the sisters got to learn from the conies. Let's pull up this word philopatric. Look at this. The tendency for an animal to stay in or return to its home area or group. Keepers at home. Right? Philo meaning love, patris meaning father. So really it's in your father's house. The head honcho, the woman stay there. So you got a lot of women, man. You need to learn from the coney. Right? Let's go to 1 Timothy. Right? Let's go to 1 Timothy. Actually, Salaki, I want Titus. That's what I want. Salaki. Yeah. Right? Let's go to Titus, man. Titus chapter 2 and verse number 5. To be discreet is what the sisters have to be. Chaste. Keepers at home. You ain't out in the club. You ain't out looking for a man. Hey, them female conies, they got sister wives. You know, they got sister wives. You can get emotional, get mad. Hey, they got sister wives. And they stay at home. When that male coney walk around and he looking around and they in order. So they're keepers at home. They cook. They get or they don't cook, but you get what I'm saying, man. Right? They get the food ready. You know, they watch over the children. Keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. All right, so that's fundamental. So let's go back to their colony structure. Within this structure, females are philopatric and remain in the colony, while male offspring are forced to disperse around 17 to 24 months of age to find their own territory. And they say, look, man, you can't stay here. And Jake said, when you 18, you out. That's pretty much how these rock badgers are like Jakes, man. In the ancient world. Look, man, it's time for you to get your own family. Therefore, shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. You out. You stayed here, you learned under your father, right? Under your mother. Time for you as a man, now it's time for you to do your own thing. You can't stay here and be eating up all of the food, man. You can't stay here and be eating up all of the berries, man. Go find your own rock. Start your own family. Start your own territory. Be your own man. So they promote and empower boys or little conies to be men, man. They're exceeding wise. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Right? It's 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things, bro. So they promote and empower the younger to be men and to be mature, to leave off from being childish and relying solely on the father and his wives to take care of you. Eventually, you got to get up and get it, man. You got to make this thing shake and put away childish things. That's what the conies teach, right? That's part of their structure. So they leave their own territory, often becoming subordinate males on the periphery of other colonies. So they got to work their way up into another colony. Females do not have a defined dominance hierarchy, but older individuals are often more vigilant. Now that reminds me of Titus, the second chapter. Because women don't have rank, but you got older sisters that teach the younger sisters. The older ones are more vigilant. They're more experienced. So older female conies, they teach the younger female conies how to be in order. Here's what a colony is. Here's what this coney likes. He likes raspberries. This coney, he likes blueberries, right? This coney does this, and they teach them other conies what to do, man. You know? So they have rank and structure, right? They have rank and structure. Now check out how they communicate. Social dynamics. Oh, check this out too, man. This thing is crazy, man. Right? It says, okay, offspring, male offspring are driven out of the colony by the territorial male. Right? That's the head father. That's the father. Usually before they're 2 years old. That's like 30 years old in human years, something like that. Female offspring usually remains with the colony. Young are often kept in nursery groups where mothers may take turns babysitting, right? You see that? Because a man, he has multiple women. So he might be out with his woman, then his other wife, Coney, might be taking care of all of the children. It's her day to take care of the children. So they have a very complex housing unit and structure. They resort in Iraq. They have watchmen. They have multiple wives. They have the children in order. They're soldiers. They empower men to be men or conies to be adult conies. And they trust in Iraq. The Iraq is their sole source of defense. Now let's go into the social dynamics, then we're going to move on. While there's hostility toward competing males, a territorial male may tolerate his own male offspring until they disperse. Rock hyraxes, those are these badgers, communicate using a variety of vocalizations, including a high-pitched alarm call that warns the group of danger. So again, those are those watchmen. They blow that alarm, and everybody's warned of danger. And brothers need to get into these prophecies, man. That's warning the people of danger. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 33. So there are many things that you have to learn from the coney, man, and from the ant. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 33 and 1. Again, the word of Yahweh, Bahashmi Awashai, came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring a sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon a land, he blow the trumpet. It's like you blow the trumpet and warn the people. Now you blowing the trumpet as you going into these prophecies. Look, World War III is coming. Jacob's trouble is coming. Nuclear war is coming. Repent. Keep the commandments. That's you spiritually. Not literally, but you're spiritually warning the people and blowing the trumpet. Right? And if the people take heed, call on Yahweh Ba'ashmi Awashai. If the people don't take heed, call on Yahweh Ba'ashmi Awashai, but that blood is on their own hands. You have delivered your soul. So we warn every man. I could tell you in the book of Colossians. You have to warn and admonish when you see danger coming. So the conies, they are not selfish either. They warn the entire group of danger. One more thing about the conies before we move on. cooperation. They exhibit cooperative behaviors as communal sunning, using the latrine areas, and caring for each other's young and nursery groups, right? Communal sunning, right? Let's make sure I understand exactly what that is. If that's what I think it is, right? Let's see. So they be out there, man, pretty much getting the damn sun bath, man, sunbathing, right? Look at this. Sunbathing badger. So they got a brotherhood. That's the point. They got a brotherhood. They kick out and they do sunbathing, right? They go out and they kind of relax, man. They got a brotherhood. You know, the man got to take his woman out there and they do communal sunning. So that's the Coney, right? That's the Coney. Now we moving on. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 30, right? It's like here. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 30 again. So these are creatures that are small upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise, right? And I'm pushing it with time. I spent a lot of time on the ants and the conies. All right, let's deal with the locusts. Proverbs chapter 30 and 27. The locusts have no king, yet go they forth all of them by bands, right? So what do you observe of the coney? I mean, of the locust. Well, the locusts, regardless of them having their king, they don't have a king, but they work together. See, we don't have a king as of now on the earth, right? Our king is in the heavens. He's not on the earth yet. Our king is in the third heaven, on the right hand of the Most High God, our King Yahweh Shah. But the locusts also don't have a king, but it doesn't stop them. It doesn't stop them from mobilizing, from gathering together, from forming an army, right? From protecting one another. See, a lot of people, they're waiting on some leader to save them, and they won't put no work in. You're waiting on the president. You're waiting on some earthly power, some principality, some congressman, your mayor, some senator to save you. You won't gather together. You won't put your hand to the plow. Hey, the locusts don't have a king, man. But that don't stop them. Doesn't mean anything. Yet go they forth all of them by bands. Right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. So in the last days, man, we need to be like the locusts. Well, what do we do? Yahweh Shah's not here. I'm going to wait on Yahweh Shah to get here. No, you better do it now. You better get right now. You better go forth by bands now, because when Yahweh Shah get here, he's expecting to receive an army. He's building up an army right now. Stop waiting for people to kind of just come down and no, man. Right? Be like the locust. Gather together. Our Lord is coming to save us, man. But you don't sit around and put no work in, and because the Most High said the kingdom of God cometh not with observation. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there. Behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you. So there's work that we have to do. It's like it is work that we have to do. There's work that has to be done. Right? We have to seal the elect. We have to push these prophecies. We have to build the temple. Right? That's what the Lord wants us to do. Be like the locust, man. Stop always waiting for somebody to come and tell you to do something. Just do it in righteousness. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. And locusts are likened unto armies, right? They're likened unto armies. Look at us in the book of Judges, chapter 6. Right? Well, it says grasshopper, same thing, right? This Judges chapter 6, and verse number 5. For they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came as grasshoppers for multitude. For both they and their camels were without number, and they entered into the land to destroy it. So be like the locusts, gather together and attack all of the strongholds, all of the doctrines, eat them up and devour every principality, every green thing. Because the leaves that we have to devour, what do leaves represent? Understanding. So we're devouring the understanding of these different trees. These different trees are men. So Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, Buddhism, democracy, right? All of these things are the leaves that we have to devour, but we have to do it together. We have to come together, right? And eat up the leaves of all these different trees, man. All these trees. That's what the locusts must do in the last days, man. That's what the locusts must do. Let's go to Job chapter 8. Let's get a quick precept on that, right? This is Job chapter 8 and verse number 16. I'll read, 16. He is green before the sun, and his branch shooteth forth in his garden, right? So on a spiritual level, our enemy is green before the sun. He has his kingdom. His children are walking around going to the baseball game. He has banks. He has his illuministic society, right? I mean, he can't go wrong. He still runs the earth. He's green before the sun, like a tree that's standing bright before the sun. And his branch shooteth forth in his garden. Now, the leaf of these trees, again, it represents your understanding, right? It represents understanding and your wisdom. So when you're green before the sun and you have your leaf, it shows that you're in a state where you're dictating what's what based off of the wisdom that's been given unto you. As the locusts, it's our job to gather as bands before Yahushua returns to devour all of the green leaves, right? All of the understanding, all of the strongholds. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10, right? The locusts have no king, yet they go forth by bands. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse number 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of the stronghold. So we don't go out to camp or do videos with physical weapons. They have no benefit to us. They can never do us any good. Our weapons are spiritual, right? To pull down strongholds. Strongholds are defenses, protections for our people, where you get comfort, such as philosophies, religions, and politics. It's our job to pull those things down, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach Yahushua. So we have to destroy every lie, every imagination, eat up every green thing, every doctrine, eat it up, every philosophy, devour it, every lie that we've been taught, be like the locust, right? So here's the locust. Where is this at? Oh, I have something else about the locust. The locust swarm. Okay, here it is. Okay, what did I want? Right, so this is so locusts move on one accord, right? They move on one accord. A locust swarm, what did I type in? Locust swarm structure, right? Has a dense fluid structure with a high concentration of locusts at the front, creating a band that moves in a cohesive direction. And it's thousands of them. And some move left, some move right, but they just flow so well together, man. They're so in order. They have so much structure. They don't need a king. You got people that gotta be in charge. I gotta be in charge. We're not doing this unless I'm in charge. Look, brother, we need to work together, man. The Lord says, seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. The locusts don't have no damn king, man. But without a king, they'll destroy an entire kingdom. Straight up. Look what happened to Egypt. They'll eat up all your crops, all your grass, all your green things, all your fruit. Man, they'll kill that. They'll destroy everything. They can break down a whole kingdom without a king. Even ancient kings feared the locusts, man. That's a war that they did not want. They'll go to war against them Philistines. Yes, they will go to war against those Canaanites. But when that band and that army of locusts came in, they didn't want that fight. They did not want that fight. All right. It reads, so they move in a cohesive direction. There's a lot of precepts that come to mind. Amos 3:3, Acts 1:14, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 10. And the Lord said, Colossians, let's get this real quick. I know I'm paraphrasing a lot for sake of time. This Colossians chapter 2 and 19. And not holding the head, from which all the body by joints and bands, having nourishment ministered and knit together, increaseth with the increase of God. So we are the body of Yahushua. And the body of Yahushua should move like the locust. You can see the locusts flying. They fly high, then they come down, and they fly together. You never got one locust in the back saying, hold on, you guys are moving too fast. You never have one locust in the front saying we should go this way. They're all of the same mind. They're knit together, right? Be like the locust, man. Right? Be like the locust. Right? Don't just try to wait for the kingdom of heaven to just fall out the sky, man. Be like the locust. Here's the word knit in the Greek. Symbibazo, right? If I'm pronouncing that correctly. Symbibazo. It reads to cause to coalesce, to join together, put together, to unite. See, the Most High is teaching you about order and structure with your household. You learned that from the Coney. Get your household in order, because the Coney, he damn sure got his house in order. He got his women in order. He got his children in order. He got watchmen. Be like the ant. They work together. They communicate. They kill together. They invade. Be like the locust. They unite. They are knit together. Now check this out. I like this one right here. To cause a person to unite with one in a conclusion or come to the same opinion, to prove or to demonstrate. So we unite into one person, man. Be like the locust. Right? Be like the locust. Check this out. They call this polyphenism. Locusts transform from a solitary to a gregarious state when population density increases, which triggers physical, chemical, and behavioral changes, right? The swarm's robust structure is a result of self-organization, where millions of individuals maintain coordinated movement over large distances and times. Hey, that's spiritual. That's us in His truth and His pilgrimage, man. We're all in the pilgrimage. You got many Israelites in His truth in a spiritual pilgrimage going back to the promised land. And we have to be self-organized. So-called white men ain't going to organize. I mean, we know Yahweh Shemiah Shai is in the spirit, but I'm talking on a nationwide level. The Most High is setting us in order pursuing the Psalms 50. We understand that. But we have to organize. The Lord said, gather together. That's why it's important to have congregations, to have brotherhoods, to have sisterhoods, to have families unite, to build the nation. The locusts do it. Individuals come together and they can move over large distances and times. It's like us being years in this truth as a nation, right? Years in this truth as a nation, they still move together, man. So these are the small beasts, but yet they are wise. And again, we are on a pilgrimage, man. The Lord said in First Peter 2 that he beseeches as strangers and pilgrims. You know? First Peter chapter 2 and 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul. So a pilgrim is an individual that's on a holy journey, really to a holy site. And we're all pilgrims, but we need to come together, right? Self-organization, selflessness, and move collectively. Less division in Israel. The locusts have more sense than the Israelite, man. It's a damn shame. These things are little upon the earth, but they're exceeding wise. Exceeding wise. Let's go back to Proverbs 30. I may not have time to touch on every beast, right? Proverbs 30. Okay, Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 28. The spider taketh hold with her hands and is in king's palaces. Yeah, the spider, man, has a lot of wisdom within itself, right? They say spiders are the most complex learning creatures that the Most High made. Due to their, when you look at their webs, people are still baffled. They don't know if they know mathematics, if they understand geometrical formulas, but they can put together complex building structures. They're chief architects, right? In their mind, they labor with their hands and they know how to build. And you look at a spider web, man. Look how they built that. It's perfect. Everything's straight. It's in order. Right, let me see if I can find one. Everybody, I mean, we've all seen one, but let me just type one there for the visual. Look at this. That's some complex work right there. Look at that. And they're in king's palaces, man. Right? They're in mansions. They're in the corner of your house somewhere. They don't care about you. They didn't ask you, can they come in? They're in a place where they could get killed. They're in king's palaces. The palace is supposed to be clean, free from any pest. They're there. Low key building. They're not making a big scene. They're not on the forefront. They're low key in the place where they can get killed, and they're building, but they're building strategically and they're building fast, and they build with design and craft. You gotta think about us in this captivity, man. Right? You gotta think about us laboring and us building. Right? So let me get this real quick concerning the spider. I'll get one quick precept. Right? Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 4. Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 6. So built we the wall, and the wall was joined together unto the half thereof, for the people had a mind to work. So that spider works, man. Right? And they don't build shoddy webs, man. They build complex webs. Like in the ancient world, in the days of Nehemiah, the Israelites had a mind to work, man. Spider intelligence is more complex than previously thought, demonstrated by abilities like learning. So spiders love to learn. You got brothers that don't love to learn. They don't want to study. They know every damn thing. You can't correct them. You can't teach them. Spiders love to learn. They're problem solvers. They're planners. And they have a sense of counting. See that? They have a sense of counting, man. So they're like mathematicians. And they're very great when it comes to planning and problem solving. Research has shown spiders can learn from experience. So they might make a web It might fall apart, but then they learn. How are you supposed to do? You fall short, you repent, and you learn from experience not to do that same thing again. A lot of them spider webs, man, that's through trial and error. You know, they have to adjust their web building to local conditions, and plan complex hunting routes. So they're planning, they have tunnels and they plan, if I go here, then this can happen. The wind is blowing over here. I have to face my web this way because the light shines. So they're always thinking. They're always thinking how to survive. They're always in survival mode. And they have to adapt in their surroundings. Right? And and people want to kill them, huh? So they know that. So you got to be like the spider. Be like the spider. Let's move on. Right? Proverbs 30 and 29. There be three things which go well, yea, four are comely and going. Right? Things that look mighty, they have strong. When you look this up, it tells you they have like a strong strut or they have dignity, right? They're powerful. These are these three things. Four are comely and going. A lion, which is strongest amongst beasts, and turneth not away for any. A greyhound, and an he goat, and the king, against whom there is no lifting up. So we got to touch on the lion. Yes, the lion is the strongest amongst beasts. I don't care what Esau say, what's in his formulas. The lion is the strongest. Well, who will win in a fight, a lion or a tiger? I'm taking the lion. I don't care what anybody says. I'm taking the lion. First of all, the lion is more intelligent than a tiger. A lion can outsmart a tiger. Well, what about the tiger? And tigers are proud, man. Tigers are very proud. And tigers are solo. They run solo. So I'm taking the tiger. I'm taking the lion, man. Because the Most High is taking the lion. It's the strongest amongst beasts, and the lion is the boldest. They don't turn away for any. So what do you have to learn from the lion? You have to learn how to be bold. How to be bold, man. How not to be fearful. How to trust in the Most High, right? You have to learn how to wax bold in situations, man. You can't be a coward your whole life with your tail tucked between your legs, man. Right? You have to learn how to be bold at times through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, man. Right? This Mark chapter 15 and 43. So this is at Yahweh Shai's crucifixion, right? Let's see where I'm at with time. I know I'm running out of time. Okay. All right, Mark 15 and 43. Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate and craved the body of Yahweh Shai. Now, he wasn't always bold. Remember, Joseph of Arimathea, he was one of the secret disciples. He believed in the Lord, but he didn't confess it publicly for fear of the Jews. But when it was time for him to be bold, he exercised great boldness to get our Lord buried before the sun went down. He damn near kicked the door down, speaking proverbially or exaggerating rather. Kicked the door down to Pilate to get that body, man. I'm led to believe he yelled at him, man. Said, I'm not going any damn where till I get the body of our Lord. So you have to have boldness, and you can't turn away from no demon, no evil spirit, no damn doctrine, man. Letting people seduce you. You have to be bold in the power and strong in Yahweh Shai, like the lion. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, man. Be strong in the Most High. Pray for courage. The Lord told Joshua, be thou only strong and courageous. Paraphrasing. You want to be a courageous brother over your family, man. No woman wants a man that's a coward. The Most High can't use a man that's a coward, that flees from adversity, that flees when times get hard, that runs away when depression comes in and his money ain't right or his health issues are bad, and he resorts and he flees away from the scriptures and goes to the bottle. He flees away from the word of God and goes to some wicked whore. He flees away from the precepts and goes and deals with the flesh. The Most High cannot use a man like that. That man is not a man. The lion, he turneth not away from any. He's strong. And tell you that the young lions in Psalms 104, that they seek their meat from the Most High. They resort and call upon the Most High. Let me get that in Psalms real quick, 104. Right? We don't turn away from any damn thing, man. Evil spirit come on you, you rebuke it, man. Edomite get in your face, man. You at camp shaking a hand, man. You stand bold for the Lord. Right? Most High not dealing with no cowards, man. Psalms 104 and 21. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from God. You need to be roaring after the prey. You know you about to devour. It's easy. It's a come up. That's how the young lions get down, man. They roaring after the prey and they seek their meat from the Most High. They know about the Heavenly Father. Lions know about God, man. You know, they know about Yahweh Shah. A lot of these beasts, if not all these beasts, they all know about the Most High. But some are more in tune with spiritual matters than others. You know, certain animals have different spirits. So the lion, he knows about the Lord. The lion is strong, right? So the lion is something that we all want to emulate, the characteristics and the spirit of that lion. All right. And the lion roars and he cries out. You need to cry out. Cry out for wisdom. Cry out for understanding. I tell you in Proverbs, the 2nd chapter, man. Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 3. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge and liftest up thy voice for understanding. A lot of brothers only yell when they drink wine and they get loud. Or you yell in an argument. When the last time you cried and lifted up your voice and called upon Yahweh Shai for more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding? When the last time you roared after precepts, after spiritual gifts, after diverse talents? You just roar at your children all day, man. Roar at your woman all day. The Lord said, don't be a lion in the house. The hell you doing being a lion in the house, man? Be a lion in these scriptures. So everything, there's a season and a time and purpose for every work under heaven. Now, one thing about this lion, let me pull this up. I pulled up the intelligence of lions. Now, check this out, man. Lions are not just physically strong, lions are mentally strong. And lions are very majestic, right? And they got a lot of what's the word? They got a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? They walk mighty, man. They're glorious. Right? You watch videos when lions walk, man, they know they're the king. Right? They walk around with lions are confident too. They're confident. They walk around like, man, look, man, you can't do a damn thing to me. They're not proud, they're confident. They know about the Most High. They know about their strength. They trust that the gifts that they've been given, nobody can take them down. Be like the lion, man. Walk with your chin up, man. Your head up. The Most High said in Proverbs, let me get this, man. Chapter 23. A lot of brothers are just feeble, man. Just getting beat up and, by these spirits, and you won't do anything about it. Getting devoured. You got your woman ruling over you. You have no heart, no chance, no courage. Proverbs 23 and 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. So you are what you think, man. If you move like the spirit of a lion, it's going to manifest, man. You're going to have an austere, bold spirit, strong in the Lord. If you believe that. I don't know. A lot of brothers, you like that damn lion from Wizard of Oz, man. Where's that? Let's say that nigga. Lion from Wizard of Oz, man. He ain't had no heart, man. Look at him. I don't know if I can make it. You know? Oh my God, what's that? Damn coward, man. He's the first coward. And I think look at this. He just wanted a heart, man. Right? You don't want to be with a brother like this, man. God damn, man. God, you got to roll with some brothers that are some soldiers, man, some warriors. Man, look to the left and right of you, man. Next time you're around your brothers, man, you got is his brother a lion? If a brother's questionable, it's not a lion, man. You might want to say something to that brother. You know, mark brothers that flee, man. In the midst of battle, things get hot. They looking around. You know. So let me pull this up about these lions. Now check this out. Okay, we dealt with the spider. Okay, lions are considered the most intelligent of the big cats due to their complex social structure, which demands advanced cognitive skills for cooperation and communication. So it's like they like run an empire, like running a kingdom. Running the kingdom requires advanced cognitive skills, thinking, problem solving, processes, streamlining, being efficient, eliminating waste, doing things on time, doing it right. That's how lions think. They don't just sit around and eat all day. They have advanced wisdom and understanding. They're very intelligent, you know, and they're always thinking about how to keep their kingdom going. Who's weak? Who's hunting? You're hunting today. They set that stuff up, man. You think these lionesses just hunt because they got nothing to do? The lion call the shots. Look, this week you're hunting, right? This week you're taking care of the sun. Me, I got this lion. I smell him. Hey, you watch that? I took my kid to see that old the last Lion King movie, man. You know, the one with Scar, when Scar and Simba was growing up, man. He said, I always wanted a brother. If you've seen it, you've seen it. But you know, in that movie, they show you that he could smell those lions miles away. I think his Scar's mother taught him that. So you might have them lions who telling them other lionesses to hunt, and in his mind, he smell another lion that's coming to take over the pride. I got somebody I need to kill today. I got to go handle business. When I come back from handling business, have that food ready. Now, he's not saying it like that. Hey, but that's what he's saying. Because they got to go get that food, man. Get them gazelles, man. Get them antelope, man. He got to go handle that business. Because you got lions coming up looking to take over the prey. And once he done handling his business, hey, they got them antelopes ready for him. So he has a very complex social structure with rank and order. Tigers don't have that, man. Like I said, I take a lion over a tiger any day. A tiger's mind doesn't go that far. A panther's mind don't go that far. This man, he's running the whole kingdom, man. So let's move on. They have social intelligence. As the only truly social wild felines, living in pride requires them to navigate complex relationships, recognize individual members, assess social dynamics, and cooperate effectively. Research has shown that lions can work together to solve problems. You see that? You see that? Right? They need one another. And right? It reads, in experiments, they successfully learned to pull two ropes simultaneously to obtain a food reward. a task that required coordination and understanding of the goal, right? Lions have strong memory. Lions have demonstrated strong long-term memory. Some brothers, you can't remember one precept, right? You still have a hard time remembering the precept for John 3:16. You still can't remember, I don't know, the 7 heads and the 10 horns, man. Been this thing 7 years. Who's the first king of Israel? Who's who's David? Ask a brother who's David. I don't know. He got thrown in the lion's den, right? Didn't he get thrown in the lion's den? You ask a brother who's Judith. Oh, that's Abraham's daughter. Where is that at in the scriptures, man? Some brothers, your mind ain't right, man. Get your memory up, man. Stop eating all them foods that destroy your mind, man. Pray for a strong memory. Get into these scriptures, man. Study, repetition, highlights. Go over your highlights, your flashcards. Get your mind right, man. Lions have strong long-term memory. Some brothers, you don't even know your address, man. You got to put your address in the GPS. Where I live again, man? You'll be lost. So let me move on. Successfully remembering how to solve a problem after a 7-month interval. Damn. So they run into a problem 7 months. Then they solve the problem. 7 months later, they say, I remember what happened. Here's how I solved it before. Here's how I'm going to solve it again. Jake don't think like that. You don't think like a lion. You deal with lust, and you'll pray and fast. And then 7 months later, that same demon comes back, and you just give heed to it. I don't know what to do. I think I'm falling out the truth. The lions, man, they remember these demons, these spirits, these problems. And they use the same methodology they did 7 months ago. And they keep a catalog of in their mind. Be like the lion, man. They show signs of empathy, such as contagious yawning, which is linked through social bonding and emotional connection, right? So lions have military formations too, man. Right? Now I pulled this up. This is an actual military formation that the male lion operates in. And he teaches this to the lionesses. This is real, man. You think lions just run in a straight line? They have military rank and file. They have debriefing before they hunt. Who's going to be in the right wing? Who's going to be in the left wing? Who's going to be in the center? And in the middle, it's a pack of zebras. So some go to the left, some kind of go to the right, some are in the center. And you have the male lion, he taught them this. You got the head lioness, she's directing the play and making sure this thing goes down effectively. So they have military hunting formations as well, man. Right? And the Lord said in let me get this real quick. At 1 Corinthians 12 Chronicles, rather. Right? It's like, yeah. I want this what the Lord said, keep rank. In 1 Chronicles 12:33. It reads, of Zebulun, such as went forth to battle, expert in war, with all instruments of war, 50,000, which could keep rank. They were not of double heart. So they could keep rank, man. So I'm gonna play this quick clip, and I gotta kind of wind down. Right? So bear with me. Let me play this quick clip. Now, this is lions hitting intelligence. Check this out.
In eyes lies a mind far more sophisticated than previously understood. Lions possess remarkable cognitive abilities that extend beyond basic predatory instinct. Lions recognize the specific roars of up to 14 different pride members with 100% accuracy, distinguishing between familiar and unfamiliar individuals.
So they got discernment. They can discern who should be here, who shouldn't be here. Who's my enemy, who's not. That's a demon. You should, in your mind, that's a demon. That's a good brother right there. Brother ain't right. That woman, she kind of off. Lions, they have higher levels of discernment.
Even at distances of 2 kilometers, they demonstrate numerosity, the ability to make quantity-based decisions. Research shows lions can visually distinguish between 1 to 3 potential adversaries and adjust their response accordingly.
So they can recognize think about you. They can recognize 1 to 3 adversaries. Can you recognize 3 demons that are coming at you, man? That are looking to sift you out? What 3 demons do you struggle with? And do you recognize them? Because a lion can deal with quantitative measures and say, these are 3 of my adversaries. I have a midst of lions. He ain't right. That's a false brethren right there. He looking to take me down. I see what's coming, man. I got something for him. That's how lions think. Jake, you don't think like that. Well, some brothers don't think like that.
When outnumbered, they retreat 90% of the time. When evenly matched, they stand ground 80% of the time.
When outmatched, they flee 90% of the time, right? When they deal with somebody they could deal with, they stand their ground 80% of the time. They're bold, man.
Female lions employ coordinated hunting techniques that require spatial awareness and role allocation. Specific lionesses consistently occupy positions as wings, flanking prey, centers, pursuing prey, or blockers, intercepting escaping animals.
So they have a military formation that's taught by the king based off of their environment.
These roles remain consistent across hundreds of documented hunts, suggesting specialized cognitive development. These cognitive abilities serve a critical purpose: survival in complex social structures. The pride, a sophisticated social unit of 2 to 40 lions, demands advanced communication and decision-making skills that few other predatory mammals possess.
So that's the point. So the lions get down, man. The lions get down. So again, Proverbs 30 and the 7 creatures of wisdom. We covered the ants, the conies, the lion, the spider, the locust. Most High willing you were edified. Hey, and no thanks killing, man. No thanks killing. Don't go over your auntie house. Don't go over there to see what they got going on. Well, I'm just going over there to talk to them. I'm going over there to rebuke them. You know, I'm just going over, but I'm not going to eat anything. Don't go over your auntie house, your grandmother house, your grandfather house. Don't eat no Thanksgiving meal. I'm going to just go over there and I'm say a prayer with them and I'm going to leave. Well, I'm going to kind of go over there and I'm going to show them the video. We know why you're going over there, man. Right? You want to try some of that nasty damn mac and cheese and abominable food dedicated to the slaughter of your forefathers and your foremothers, man. And the Most High is watching you, brothers, man. He's watching you, brothers, is going to sneak out and go and eat that abominable food of destruction, man. No Thanksgiving dinner, no leftovers either. Well, I'm going to go over there. I ain't going to eat it tonight, but I'm going to eat it tomorrow because it ain't Thanksgiving, but I'm going to take it to work tomorrow because I got to go in and I just need something. No leftovers, man. Don't go over there the second day either. Or the brother said no leftovers, but maybe if I go back the day after, it's not really leftovers. And the brother said no monkey style, man. Yeah, like them Negroes, man, who ate Thanksgiving, who called himself King David, eating Thanksgiving dinner, man. Right? I challenge him not to eat Thanksgiving dinner this year. Right? So no Thanksgiving, no Christmas dinner, no folly, man. No folly. Right? No folly, man. Right? Stay in the spirit. This is about the slaughter of your forefathers and your foremothers, man. So Most High willing you are edified. Kwam Yashalom. Shalom.